Hey, Lisa. I did what you said. I went on and just started it earlier. Hey, Ian. How you doing, my friend? I just went on and started it now because he's going to call at 9:15. So, hey, Mary. Hey, dude from Texas. So, he's going to call at 9:15. And, that'll time enough to get people inside the, get people time enough to get in the chat. Hey, hey, Mr. G. Hey, Mr. G, if you haven't joined the group, can you go and join? And one of us will accept you. Lisa posted up there for you. Sure. I know, Mary. I truly apologize though. But I'm just happy to have him on here. Bronson, new sub. All right, you already subscribed to the channel, Bron? If not, Mario posted up there so y'all can go and join it. And one of us will accept y'all, so you don't have to worry about that. Come on, y'all, push them that like button. Hey Aaron. Hey Barbara. Hey everybody. Hey everybody. I know Claire probably jump on here. Yeah, 3 more minutes. He can call in. We probably got we got 7 minutes, y'all. 7 minutes before he call in. Oh man, I gotta get to these questions too. I just once he finished these encounters, I just go to the questions that we got to ask him, Lisa. Everybody ready for this one? Hey Jesus Alva. Hey Jesus, for the ones that haven't joined the pack, can y'all go and do so y'all can be members? That's why I say I'm grateful and I'm blessed though, because every time and this time I didn't even have to ask Vic to come on the show. He called me and asked, and I'm so grateful, you know, I'm grateful, man, to have him as a friend, and don't judge nobody. That's why I say, man, he'll always come on our show, and that's what that's what I love about him. So for y'all that didn't join the group, just go and join it. Y'all can go join it. You only got to answer a few questions and jump right back on because he still got 5 minutes before he called. So y'all definitely got time. So don't even worry about that. And don't forget to push that like button. Y'all already know we're gonna get the number one hater. Okay. Hey, Lisa, Richard just asked to join the group. Can you accept him? Or dude from Texas, can one of y'all accept him? Real quick. His name Richard. Yeah, Mr. G, ain't no problem. You just need y'all to just go join the pack. Hold up, if I can go in and do it real quick, I'll do it and I'll just come back. I'll go and see if I can accept them if y'all ain't do it yet. Okay, let me see. New member, Bing got him. All right, Richard. Tell Richard he approved, so he good. So for the rest of them, like I said, y'all can go and join. Y'all can go and join. For the ones, Richard, I already accepted you, so you good. Got 4 minutes, y'all. Oh, Jesus. Okay, Mary, thank you. Cause I didn't even know. I'm glad you told me, cause I would have been calling him that. Richard Patton, hey. Couple of more minutes, y'all, and we in. 3 more minutes. Three more minutes. Antonio. Yeah, Antonio. Yeah, you do got you is in the hospital. I hope you feeling better. And I'm glad that you can listen to this live. Cause Vic gonna be on here tonight. Hey Brown brothers. North Carolina in the house. Okay, that's what's up. Don't forget, hey Thanos. Yeah, Thanos. If you haven't joined, go join the group so y'all can be pack members. It only take a few seconds. And one of us will accept y'all, so y'all don't have to worry about that. Thanks, Antonio. That really means a lot. 2 minutes, y'all. 2 minutes. Then it's go time. Okay, Lisa, I got you. Well, if anybody else trying to join, then I will have to go over and accept them until I make y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute he can recall. So I'm gonna have to probably tell him talk up so y'all can hear him when he talk. Cause we got like 20 questions that we're gonna ask him. So hopefully he can answer those questions to the best of his knowledge. Yeah, if y'all have to, put your headphones on and turn your volume up if y'all have any. Because Vic talk kind of low sometimes. I'm gonna put it close as I can. He should be getting ready to call. He usually be on time. Bingo. Y'all head ringing. Hey.
What's going on?
Oh man, we was just we just sitting there waiting for you. I said it's quarter after. I say, man, Vic calling, boy. One thing I can say about him, he not gonna be late.
Try not to be.
He not gonna be late. That's one thing I said. He definitely gonna call. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. Had an eyewitness no show me. Thank goodness I interviewed someone else for this for tomorrow night's show.
Well,
It's a good thing I knew not to
you're
trust this
hey,
guy.
Vic. I'm always here if you need me. You already know that.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I plan to be calling you here soon to have you come back on, if you will, again,
Oh
because
yeah,
there's some things
absolutely.
that been
Whenever
going
you
on.
need me, you know what I mean. All you gotta do is just say the word. I love to come on there. So whenever you ready, whenever you need me, I'm there. Um, I told him you said you gonna go ahead and start off with the encounters because we definitely wanted that scary one. Where it's gonna keep us on the edges of our seat. Everybody in the chat, Dub Pack members, tonight guest is Vic Cundiff. I'd like to welcome back, to the show. Grateful that he came on here and just to do this, just to do this for us, And we got some good questions this time, for you to answer. They some real good questions. But Vic, whenever you ready, you start with the encounters.
All right, we'll do the first encounter I'm going to share with everyone tonight. It happened to a lady who, a Native American lady, whose son, unfortunately, had a fist-sized blood clot on the right side of his brain that had to be removed. Well, unfortunately, when they removed that blood clot, that caused other issues to his psyche. He had other mental problems as a result of that. Well, he's a grown man, but because of those disabilities that were caused from that blood clot, she basically had to take care of him almost as if he was underage. Even though, again, we're talking about a man who's, I think, in his early 30s. Well, he got depressed after having to be in the hospital for as long as he did because of that blood clot. He started to become very depressed, and she got the idea to help pick up his spirits that she would take him on a nice extended camping trip. They live in Colorado, and she had been camping all over the state. Well, she said that she knew the perfect place to take him. It was a really desolate area. I guess you didn't normally expect to see anyone. If you went camping there, you wouldn't expect to see anyone the whole time you were there. Well, they set the date for when they were going to go. They planned to stay for the whole week. They took a bunch of things that they knew they were going to need, threw them into the truck, and then headed to this area. Well, they got out, they set up the tent, they started putting things into the tent that they were going to need, setting up things around the camp. They took a 55-gallon drum and sunk it into the ground about halfway for their fires, because I guess in this area it wasn't all that safe to have just a fire on the ground that wasn't protected that way. Well, everything was going great. That night they sat around the fire and were just talking about this and that, enjoying the sounds of nature and the pretty good weather that was going on at the time. Well, they decided to turn in, I guess, around midnight. And because they knew they weren't going to be in a hurry to go hiking or anything like that the next day. Well, the next morning comes, they wake up, and they started walking around the area, having a look about, and everything was going great. I mean, it was just a typical run-of-the-mill camp out. Well, after being out for most of the day, they started to get tired. They decided to head back into camp and just take it easy and relax. Well, it wasn't too long after they made it back, and they didn't make it back until, I think, right after dark. It wasn't too long after they got back, they decided that they were so tired that they were going to just turn in. Well, they went ahead and headed into the tent, and they laid down and got settled in. And I can't remember if they had dozed off or not, but after some time, the son woke his mother up, telling her that he heard these strange howls, asking her if she heard them. So she was laying there listening and told him, no, I didn't hear any strange howls. So she was laying there listening, and about maybe 3 minutes later, she heard those strange howls that he woke her up about. And she told him, she said, okay, yeah, I heard that. And he told her, well, those howls are closer than when I heard them. And being very experienced in the outdoors, the way this lady is, she would know if howls sounded normal. If it could be a wolf's howl, possibly, or a coyote's howl. She said this just didn't match. Well, they're laying there listening, trying to figure out what it was howling, when after a few more moments, they heard another set of howls, but these were from a different direction. And these were closer. So they're just laying there trying to figure out what was going on, what made these howls. They're just laying there captivated, just listening, trying to figure this all out. Well, after a short period of time, they heard another set of howls in a different direction altogether yet, and they were closer. Well, these howls were seesawing back and forth like that. All the while, every time they'd hear another howl, it was closer. So after they talked about it, they decided that their best move was going to be to pack up and get out of there. Well, they started moving around, grabbing things, and prepping to get out of there when they heard a howl that was just way too close for comfort. So they decided to go and get back into the tent. Well, they're laying there in the tent, listening intently, trying to figure out what in the world was making the howls, what in the world was going on. When before too long they started hearing something, whatever it was, obviously had a pretty good amount of weight, walking around the tent, to their horror. So they're trying home for the night. So he went into the house, and it was so remote he didn't bother locking the doors. He didn't see that being a problem, so why bother doing it? Well, he walked into the home, and he was in the back bedroom just sorting a few things before he got to work, when all of a sudden he got this strange sensation, like something wasn't quite right. So he just froze and listened. Well, as he was in this back bedroom, he hadn't fully latched the door. He left it just closed enough where there's like a sliver of a view between that door and the door frame. Well, he's sitting there just listening when all of a sudden he heard the floor out in the living room really slowly creak. It was just an easy, slow, subtle creak. Well, he heard that and thought, okay, well, house is settled. Maybe the wind's blowing outside and it caused the house to make that groaning sound, the floor to groan like that. It could be a million things. That's no big deal. It just must be my imagination getting the better of me. So he let out a deep breath and he just went back to doing what he was doing, I guess getting his tools ready that he was going to need. And just a few moments later, he heard another really slow, subtle creak. Sounded like the floor was creaking out there in the living room. So he's thinking, okay, if that happened one time, that's a fluke or it's no big deal. It happened twice now. So maybe there is something to that. So he goes and sneaks over to the door where there's just a sliver of a view that you can look through and see. He looks through that sliver, that crack in the door, out into the living room area. And I think it was in a mirror that, to his horror, he could see this werewolf-looking thing that was about maybe 6-7 feet tall, standing in his living room. And from its posture, you could clearly tell it was creeping. It was trying to stalk his way back to the back bedrooms. So when he saw that, he slowly snuck back to where the closet was, where he stored all of his tools and everything. Remember, that chainsaw was in that closet. He picked up the chainsaw as quietly as he could. He pulled the choke full on. He pulled the starter rope on the chainsaw. And that chainsaw, it just roared to life. And as soon as it roared to life, he came busting out through his shoulder against that closet, that bedroom door. And it flew open, and when it did, the dog man was really surprised, he said. So he runs at this dog man with a chainsaw running full on, full throttle. I can't remember exactly where it went from there. I do remember that the dog man ran out of the house. it hit the front door and ran out of the house. I can't remember if he actually left the house coming after it or what. But yeah, that's about all I remember from that experience, which, in my opinion, that's definitely one of the more frightening ones that
Right.
you're going to hear.
Right.
So
Yeah, but I
those are
like
my two
both of
stories.
them. And I'm ready to get to these I'm gonna get ready to get to these questions, Vic, 'cause we got some we got some good questions, and they different. They not the same ones from last time, but I know you're gonna answer them to the best, to the best of your knowledge. So I'm gonna get to them now. And I'm gonna start from number one. Now the first question, Vic, is does Vic think ever in the future there will be any disclosure on these Doug men?
Definitely not.
I don't think so either. I really don't. I don't think the government gonna let nobody know about that. Question
No,
number two.
definitely not.
Does Vic believe Doug Man traveled through portals or believes in portals?
Do I think dogmen travel through portals, or do I believe in portals?
Yes.
Well, I don't believe dogmen travel through portals. I am open to the idea that they might be demonic in nature, though. If they are demonic in nature, then who knows what the limits of their abilities are. If they are demonic, then I guess they could travel through them. Do I believe, though, in portals? Well, there are subatomic particles called quarks that can link in and out of existence.
Mm-hmm.
They're here one moment, and the next moment it's been proven they're gone. So I guess if that's possible, I think anything is possible. So
Right.
I'm not going to say that I definitely believe in portals, but I will tell you that I am open to the possibility that they are out there and that they're a reality. But I'd have to see them to believe it.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, yeah, you probably open up to the idea. Now, question number three. Why do Doug men tend to just terrorize, tap on windows, intimidate when they could easily kill?
Well, if you think about it, mountain lions are known as deer killing machines. That's a nickname for them that a lot of people that know about them and their abilities have for them. Well, if you think mountain lions are really talented at dispatching deer, dogmen make them look like amateurs. With that in mind, dogmen don't have any trouble feeding themselves. And if that's the case, then they don't have to expend much time out of their day doing that, feeding themselves. So you're looking at a huge apex predator that on a daily basis, it has tons of idle time that it's got to pass. So unfortunately, I think one of their favorite pastimes is terrorizing people because for some sick reason, that's how they get their kicks, that's how they get their jollies. And I think that's why you hear about them doing that so often.
Right.
I think they're just bored and they're trying to pass the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, question number four. Why are Doug man spotted around cemeteries on a lot of encounters?
That I don't know. If they do have some kind of a supernatural origin, if they are demonic, then I guess that would explain a lot of that. But that's one of those things where I just don't have nearly enough information to come to any kind of an accurate conclusion on. I really can't explain that one.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say they hang around cemeteries because there's a readily available source of food. Yeah, I don't buy that because if that was the case, then caskets would be dug up all over the place.
Right.
So, yeah,
You're
that's just
absolutely
not.
right. Okay,
Yeah, oh, no doubt.
question number five. Do you think that Doug Man's physical characteristics change with whatever climate they're in?
No, I don't think they do any more so than any biological animal. I mean, you've got dogs, other animals, they shed. You've got a summer coat with them. You've got a winter coat. Look at snowshoe rabbits. They totally change their color. Not only do they grow thicker fur for the wintertime, they turn to white from a brownish color during the warmer months.
Okay.
So maybe like that, where they shed and they change their appearance like that. Or you take horses, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at a horse's winter coat, the length of it, the texture of it compared to its summer coat. Yeah, I mean, in that way, it's possible for a biological animal to change its appearance from summertime coat to
Okay.
wintertime coat. Maybe dogmen, maybe they go through the same kind of change. I really couldn't say, but that sure would explain it as far as maybe the variances in their appearance from one
Mm-hmm.
time of the year to the next.
Absolutely. Okay. Question number 6. Does Vic believe that Dougman can hear trail cams and that's why the blurry videos or photos?
I wouldn't be surprised if they can hear trail cams. Understand, with their ears being as big as they are, I'm sure they hear much better than Sasquatch do.
Mm-hmm.
Sasquatch, they definitely don't seem to have any trouble knowing at least where the trail cams are. Whether it's them hearing them or not, I don't know. But if dogmen and Sasquatch in the area, if they are watching you from the moment that you get out of the truck or car until the time you get back into it, which I wouldn't be surprised in the least if they do that because of all their idle time that they have to pass, then they're sitting there watching you put that camera up in the first place. So
Right.
that right there would explain why these cameras just normally aren't all that effective.
Right.
Because they saw you put it there. Doesn't matter if you bury it, hide it. They watched you hide it. So even if they don't hear you, your camera running, they know where it's at that way. So that sure would explain a lot.
Absolutely, Vic. And I said the same thing. I said, I mean, I came up with this conclusion. I'd be like, okay, if these creatures been in these woods for so long, they know when something is out of place and when something ain't supposed to be in a certain spot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, question number 7. Thinking back to his first show recording and this last one he made, is there anything that you would have done differently?
About the first show?
Yeah, from your first to your last. Is it anything that you would have did differently?
Well, there's something I definitely would have done differently on the first show, and that's to use a digital recorder. When I recorded that first show with Michael F. Smith and Chris, I forgot his last name. I feel so bad about that. But with Chris and Michael, they were so nice because when I recorded that first episode with them, August 22nd, 2015, I didn't record that onto a digital recorder. I recorded that onto my computer, and right after we got done, right after we wrapped, I lost that recording. So I had to ask them to record that show, that first episode, all over again. Luckily, they were nice enough to do that. But,
Okay.
yeah, I learned my lesson on that.
Right.
As far as from that, a hard lesson.
Right.
As far as from that first one to now would go, no regrets. I can't really think of anything
Okay.
that I regret.
Okay. Question number 8. Does Vic believe that cryptid shows are listened to by government agencies?
Yes, I do. It's only natural that they would, though. They have to keep their finger on the pulse of who's likely to do something that's going to cross what's in their interest. They don't care if you hear these shows. You can talk about cryptids until you're blue in the face. It's not until you start coming out with evidence that's above a certain level in quality that they have trouble with cryptid shows. So in order to do that, in order to monitor what's being released as far as evidence would go, who's talking about coming out with this amazing evidence that they gathered last weekend, in order to monitor things, they have to have people monitoring these shows. So,
Right.
yeah, without a doubt.
Right. Okay. Question number 9. Recently, a child was mauled again to death by an unknown canine in Kentucky. Does Vic think that it could have been a Doug man?
Yes, I think it could have been. The kid who was killed, the kid was inside his home, and from what I've heard from reputable sources, the kid was dragged out a dog door. Not the whole door. He was dragged out of a dog door and then dragged up that mountain, however far he was taken, before he was killed at that one spot on the mountain.
Right.
I don't see a coyote dragging a kid as big as he was up there.
Right.
I don't think the domestic dog did that. It really points towards, if it's not a dog man, I don't really know what else could have done that.
Right. And like you told us, Vic, that's something that they didn't even disclose.
Oh, yeah.
Number 10. How does Vic spot a true Dogman encounter from a made up one for his shows?
Well, if you had the chance to talk with thousands upon thousands of eyewitnesses, and I have, I've spoken to thousands of them, not just 1,000, thousands, plural, over the years I've been doing this, it gives you a good chance to pick up on certain things that you would expect. Whether you're talking about this type of a canine type dog man, that type of a type 3, there are certain questions you can ask, pointed questions, if what they tell you happened when they had their encounter, if it falls into certain categories. If you have someone who says that they saw a dog man from, say, 50 feet away, 100 feet away, there's only so much you can do. But, for example, type 3s at nighttime, you'll commonly hear eyewitnesses say that they saw eyes, and by me sharing this, I'm not giving away any trump card or anything like that. There are plenty of other things I can use to vet eyewitnesses. But, for example, most people don't know that type 3 dogmen, their eyes at night, when people notice them glowing, they'll commonly report that the shapes of their eyes look kind of like, how should I put this? Their eyes kind of slant down so that the tear ducts, the corners of their eyes where the tear ducts are, I guess this is the best way to describe it. The corners where their tear ducts are lower than the corners on the outsides of their eyes. So there's kind of like a slant down look to the eye reflection on type 3s, not canine types. But it's things like that. It's the details that'll hang you. If an eyewitness tells me that a dog man was feet away from them, then I've got them. I can vet them and definitely find out if what they're saying is true, if they really had an encounter or not. Episode 34, perfect example. Episode 34 with Michael Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a nickel for every time somebody told me that, oh, okay, Michael, yeah, he's the guy who claimed that juvenile dog man came into his tent and laid on his legs and licked his face, yeah, that's a load of bull. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, when he contacted me years ago, that was episode 34, so
right.
He contacted me in 2015. Yeah, when he contacted me and he sent me that report and told me about that happening, I said, okay, yeah, I definitely need to vet this guy, because if that happened, then he should definitely know the answers to these questions that I'm going to use to vet him.
Right.
So we spoke for a little bit. I talked to him about his encounter. I asked him to carefully explain what happened to me, because like I tell eyewitnesses, okay, it's one thing to have you write it down on your report and for me to read it. It's totally different for you to sit there and carefully tell me what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me carefully what happened, and after he got done, I spoke with him for a little bit, and then I decided to start throwing vetting questions at him. So I threw the first vetting question at him. Only a bona fide dogman eyewitness who was that close to one would know the answer to. And without any hesitation, he threw back the answer, the correct answer, right away. I thought, wow, this guy really experienced what he claims he experienced.
Right.
But just to be safe, I thought, you know what, I'll throw another vetting question at him that only he would know if this dog man that he claimed was basically on his lap was there in reality. So I threw another vetting question out, and instantly he threw back the right answer. I said, okay, well, this guy's the real deal. And it's funny because after episode 34, and then he came back for episode 35, after those two episodes aired, but in episode 34, that's the one where he talked about camping in the Anzo Borrego Desert in California and that juvenile coming into the tent with him. After episode 34 aired, if I had a nickel for every person who came and left comments that he was so full of it and he's obviously lying and all this stuff. I was just laughing to myself, saying, "Yeah, you have no clue what you're talking about. This guy, Michael Lawrence, is the real deal. So you can say what you like, but yeah, you just don't know a thing about what you're talking about."
Right.
So yes, to answer that question, yes, I definitely do have questions that I can use to vet eyewitnesses, make sure that they're telling the truth. If the nature of their encounters that they're telling me they had, if those encounters fit into a certain category, as far as them being a certain distance from the dog man, for example.
Absolutely. All right. Question number 11. Do you have any tips for people who enjoy being out in the woods, when they know these creatures is out there?
I do. Yeah, the best advice I can give you is understand. I've spoken with thousands again upon thousands of eyewitnesses about their dogman encounters, and the grand total of credible eyewitnesses I've spoken with over the years I've been doing this, spoke with my first eyewitness in 2007. The grand total of eyewitnesses, credible eyewitnesses, who've ever told me about being attacked by a dogman is 3 or 4. So if you have thousands upon thousands over here where the dogmen that they encountered never even touched them, and then over to this side, 3 or 4. What does that tell you about the odds of you ever being harmed by a dogman if you happen to have an encounter? I'm not going to say that dogmen are harmless. I'm not going to say that they are benign, because any creature that's got teeth and or claws, if you push the wrong buttons, it just might attack you. So I'm not going to say that dogmen should be any different. I'm just saying that the evidence shows that dogmen, they're not wired to kill you, to hurt you. Because if they were, I wouldn't have spoken with thousands upon thousands of eyewitnesses over the years who they encountered dogmen at close quarters, but the dogmen never even touched them. It has them dead to rights. If it wanted to hurt them, it would have, but it didn't. Take fire ants, for example. I have people, on the other hand, who say, well, you can believe that, Vic, but what about the people who dogmen probably killed that we're never going to hear from? Well, I can appreciate your opinion on that, but I still stand by what I said about how dogmen just aren't wired. The evidence points soundly towards the fact that dogmen are not wired to be dangerous towards us as humans. And I'll tell you why. Fire ants. Take fire ants, for example. If you spoke with an entomologist, someone whose field of study was insects, if you take an entomologist who specialized in fire ants, how many times do you think that entomologist...
Too much fighting between hot so different. Do Vic think that there's too much fighting between hosts and different cryptid shows?
Too much fighting.
I knew you was gonna laugh on that one.
Well, yeah, but that's just the nature of the beast. The cryptid community, that's just how this whole cryptid community is, unfortunately. And in most cases, when you have someone who's making all this noise, it's normally because they're jealous of another host or hosts.
That's what it is.
And they're not happy with who they are, where they are. So I tell eyewitnesses to deal with your encounters in a healthy way. See the true nature of your encounter for what it was, but the dogman had to be dead to rights. Talking about a 9-foot, 10-foot tall dogman that you just told me seconds ago was 4 feet from you, 5 feet from you. He never even touched you. He walked away and he left you without even touching you. So see the nature of that encounter for what it was. You have yet in your life to encounter a bloodthirsty, mindless, monstrous killer that's going to wipe you off the face of the earth as soon as look at you. Because if that dogman that was 4 feet from you, 10 feet tall, if it was a mindless killer, then you'd be dead right now.
Right.
So see the nature of your encounter for what it is. And when it comes to people like that who are so acerbic and they want to attack all the other hosts out there and fling mud, see them for what they are. Then when you do, it doesn't sting if they come after you. So yeah, that's about the best way I can answer that.
Absolutely. 14. Which cryptid scares you the most?
Well, can't really say. When you understand dogmen, it takes a lot of the fear away from them. I go into areas where dogmen are because I understand their nature. And Sasquatch, I think I have a pretty good beat on their nature as well. So that's a hard question to answer. When I go into the woods, I'm not exactly biting my nails because of any cryptid.
Right.
You're more than likely to have a problem with a mountain lion than you are with a dogman or a Sasquatch anyway. So
right.
Yeah, there really are no cryptids out there that all that afraid of.
Right. Okay. Question number 15. Does Vic think the government is creating their own cryptids?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they are, but that's not the genesis of dogmen. Some people say, well, dogmen must be a government-created experiment that got loose or something like that. Well, maybe a dogman or two that was made in a test tube has gotten loose, but that's not where this whole thing came from. Because if that was the case, you tell me the sightings that took place way back in the 1800s. Like, for example, there was one that took place in Wexford County, Michigan, back in, I think, 1853 or 1857. I think it was 1853. Well, it goes without saying, yeah, we did not have the ability to create dogmen or anything else in a laboratory back then. We didn't know a thing about genetic manipulation or gene splicing or anything like that.
Right.
So, yeah, to answer the question, present day, yeah, the government might be making their version of dogmen, but that's not where dogmen came from originally.
Right, right, and I agree with you. 16. Where do you think these dogman cryptids reside at? Underground, above ground, caves?
Well, I think all the above. I think they're opportunistic. If they're in an area that's got a lot of caves like Kentucky, then I think they'll just take advantage of that and use the cave if they need shelter. If it's really nice out, then I think they'll just find a comfy spot to lay down and bed down for the night. I think in areas where you really don't find caves, they will use other things to shelter under, maybe a ledge or something like that. So I think all the above.
Okay. Question number 17. Do you have any idea how long that a dogman pup might stay with his mother, and do they run in packs like all canines?
Well, I've got no idea how long a dogman pup might stay with its mother, but to answer the question about do they run in numbers or alone, understand that unlike wolves, which wolves, to take down, to dispatch the prey that they feed upon, it requires numbers of wolves to dispatch that prey animal. Whether you're talking about elk or maybe even a bison or a moose, it takes a number of wolves to do that. But dogmen, they're so big, fast, and powerful, and they have such formidable weaponry, their huge jaws and their huge teeth and claws, that they can dispatch anything they come across by themselves. Well, that right there, that tells me that more than likely they spend most of their time alone. And also, if you think about it, when you look at their caloric requirements on a daily basis, okay, having enough food resources in an area to feed one dog man who might require who knows how many calories, 10,000 calories a day, depending on how big this dog man is, or maybe even more. If you look at how many calories just one big dog man would require on a daily basis,
Right.
it would be really difficult for pretty much any area, unless it was a true Eden that was just overflowing with game and resources. It'd be pretty difficult for a particular area to support any appreciable number of dogmen for any time. I think if you do have a situation where you have more than one dogman in an area, I think you're looking at a situation where they just have to move that much more frequently to avoid depleting the game and resources in that area. I think it's no different than any other large predator like a mountain lion or a grizzly, for example. I think they move around a huge home range from spot to spot to spot inside that home range to avoid doing what I just touched on, to avoid depleting the resources in any given area.
Okay. All right. Question number 18, Vic. Why are sightings now so prevalent?
Well, I think it's easy to to be convinced that they're more prevalent now than they used to be, but I'm not so sure that's the case. I think it could very easily be the improvements that we've made in communication. I mean, think back about how it was in the 80s or in the 70s. Back in the 70s, back in
Okay. Any other questions, Lisa? Wait a minute, I'm trying to see. I know somebody else had a question. I'm telling you, it's getting more knowledge. Okay, the buffer is okay. Marvin, okay. Okay, Life 1042. I heard you. Mari worked so hard. Okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to see if at least anybody have a question. Oh, Marvin and all the great Pat fam. This would okay I wanted to um ask a question Vic, right now, if you was if you could name what are the three main hot spots right now for Doug, man?
if I had to name the three most active areas, there are a lot of active areas all over, but I guess the hottest ones right now are probably Texas, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania, I'd say.
Yeah, I heard Pennsylvania was yeah, because somebody been, one of my subscribers said that it's been a lot of sightings up there. So I knew Pennsylvania. I knew you was gonna throw Pennsylvania Pennsylvania in there. I definitely knew you was gonna throw that in there.
Oh,
Lisa,
yeah.
anybody have a question? Or do you from Texas? Might want to ask a question that we didn't say out of the questions that I asked already. Oh, wait a minute, that's a big thing. Okay, somebody wanted to know, Vic, do you think society could ever accept Doug men? And
Oh, I'm sorry. You can finish
do
asking the
you
question,
think
and then I'll hold
society
my
could
response
ever
to it.
accept Doug men?
No, no way. There's no way. Look at how we responded as a society to things that aren't nearly as outside of the box as realizing that something that looks like a giant werewolf could very easily, probably is in the woods near you. So there's no way that society would ever be able to handle that gracefully. It would be a calamity. That's why the government, that's why they do anything they can to keep this whole dogman phenomenon under wraps. They keep the whole Sasquatch phenomenon out of wraps. And for good reason, it's the same thing. But if you talk about dogmen, then it would just be amplified by a factor of probably 100. So, no, I mean, there's no way that society would ever be able to handle that with grace. The whole economy would fall to pieces and come tumbling down around our ears. It's never going to happen.
Right, and you know what? I definitely agree with that. I definitely can agree with that. I don't think it would never be it would never be accepted. You know, national parks would, yeah, they say national parks would go bankrupt. They absolutely would, because it's
They
all
sure
about
would.
money at the end of the day.
That's right.
Somebody wanted to ask this question, and I don't know the answer to it, but they want to know I guess because they got a human side to them. Do you think that they can catch some of the diseases that we catch, as far as this, like people catching this COVID thing?
No, no, I don't think they can.
Yeah.
There's just, they're called dogmen because of how they look, but it's not because of what they are. No, their biological systems are
Say it,
way
dude.
too different in order
Yeah.
to ever have a chance of catching any of our viruses or anything like
Yeah.
that.
I don't.
No more likely than a dog or a cat to catch our common colds or flus or anything like that.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Same thing. Somebody wanna. Okay, somebody wanted to know. Have any cases from David Polites 411 cases have been you think have been caused by any Doug Man or any other cryptid far as the missing people?
Yeah, I'm sure some of them have. Which ones, how many, what percentage, I couldn't answer that, but I wouldn't be surprised if at least a certain percentage have, because yeah, there have been cases where people talked about being kidnapped by dog men, by Sasquatch. The one little girl in the 1800s in Michigan who was kidnapped and her hat was found, and actually, I'm sorry, she was kidnapped and she talked about the dog man tried to eat her hat. Well, yeah, that's a perfect example of a credible eyewitness talking about a dog man that kidnapped her. So, yeah, I think it happened. How often? Again, I don't know.
Right. One of my moderators, DJ Noogie, want to know that do you think that Doug Men are part human?
No. No, again, they're just called dogmen because of how they look, not because of what they are.
Right.
So, yeah, there's no human element there. It's just they walk on two legs occasionally. They walk bipedally from time to time. So that right there is why they're called dog men.
Right.
So, no, I don't think there's any element of humanity inside there.
Okay. And dude from Texas want to know what is his opinion on these orbs being spotted around these encounters as well as Bigfoot?
Well, you know what they say, that where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not sure what to make of the whole orb thing. I just don't know enough about orbs to come to any kind of conclusion. All I could do would be just to throw stuff at the wall and see what stuck. So I don't know what to make of that.
Right. Okay.
I will tell you this before we move on, that when you look at the numbers of all the people I've spoken with, it's been very, very, how should I put this? I'd say over the years I've been doing this, there's probably been maybe 10 to 20 eyewitnesses who have ever told me about seeing orbs before, during, or after having their dogman encounter. So it seems like it's a common phenomenon, but in my opinion, it seems to be much more rare than it's easy to think that it is. I don't think it happens very often at all where people see a dog man or dog men as in they go on to see orbs or anything like that.
Right. Somebody want to know this question, right? They was like, Vic, if you could, they said, Vic said, they said Vic once said he would stop and talk to a Doug man. What would his first question be?
Well, I wouldn't ask any questions because I wouldn't expect any answers from that dog man. But yeah, if I saw a dog man, I would talk to him or her. If it was a big one, I'd tell the dog man, "Wow, you're a big one, aren't you?" And just make conversation like that. And it probably would just surprise it so much you wouldn't know what to think. I don't know if dog men can understand what we say or not. But
right.
By just having a conversation, that definitely helps to defeat the situation. And I guarantee the dog man never had an eyewitness talk to it before. So yeah, that's why I would just talk to it and see what happens.
And they want to Murray want to know what's the tallest or the largest Doug man you ever heard, as far as height?
12 feet. 12 feet. That's
12 feet. She just said it too. She said it. She remembered. Yeah, we say 12 feet.
From a credible eyewitness, that is.
And DJ Noogie want to know what was your favorite encounter on your show, which I know you probably got so many. So.
And also, I don't do it for that reason. I'm not looking for favorite encounters. This isn't fun and games. This isn't entertainment. If it was entertainment, if it was fun and games, and if we weren't talking about people whose lives have been turned upside down, then yeah, maybe I'd have a favorite. But I don't do this for that reason. And also, too, you can only talk with some poor little boy who watched his dog be killed needlessly by a dog man. And here he's bawling his eyes out, and he's beside himself, or this little girl is beside herself. You can only have those conversations so many times before it just has that effect on you. There's no way you can see it as entertainment. It's all so easy to listen to the show and see it as entertainment, but when you have conversations like that, or have conversations with the man who's in his 60s or the lady who's in their 60s or 70s, and the terror of their encounter has reduced them to the point where it sounds like they're sitting on a paint shaker talking to you, and they're not any more freaked out when they're talking to you than a 4-year-old kid who heard a bump underneath their bed and peeked under their bed in the middle of the night and came nose to nose with the boogeyman. When you talk with people who are reduced to that state time after time, how can you look at that sort of thing? How can you look at this whole phenomenon with eyes of it being entertainment?
Right. Somebody named John Carter, Vic, said that he filled out a form on your site and you ain't get back at him yet. So, I mean, you probably want to explain to him right quick. I'm going to get something to drink.
No problem. Well, from time to time, people tell me that they've submitted reports and I never got them for whatever reason. I don't know. I can't explain how that could be, but there have been times where people have submitted reports and they told me they submitted the report, but for whatever reason, like I said, I didn't get it. There are other times where people try to short shift the report. They skip things that are on the report. Everything that's on the report is a requirement if you want me to get back with you. So I can't answer that. I don't know if you submitted the report and for some reason I just didn't get it, or if you left some elements out of the report. I mean, it seems like every time I turn around, someone's submitting a report where they just think, well, I don't need to bother submitting any details of the encounter. I'll just give my name, my number, and leave this message. Vic, call me. I need to talk to you about my encounter. Well, it doesn't work that way. So I can't tell you why I haven't gotten back with you. So, yeah, I can't answer your question, unfortunately.
He said because he had 2 encounters with date, time, and locations. So
if he completely filled it out, then it had to be one of those situations where it's one of those people who told me after the fact that they submitted a report, but I never got it. So, yeah, if he did submit a report and that happened, I apologize. I don't take these things lightly.
no, he definitely don't. So John, maybe you might want to redo it and send it to him again and fill it out because he said, he take this seriously. So
you know what, Marvin, before we go any further, there is one more weird thing that I'll share with you. There have been, it doesn't happen very often, but there have been some weird times where I had a report in my inbox. I had a report in my inbox. I never touched it, and it disappeared.
What?
I didn't erase it. I did not erase it. It was in my inbox from my email account, and it disappeared. I'm not saying that's what happened in his instance, but that has happened more than once. So
that's crazy.
Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I don't want to jump to that conclusion, but that has happened. So
and I believe you. And when you just said that, I was listening to Brenton Soren one time, and he said that it's something like that happened to him before too. Said somebody went in his house and went to the exact spot where he had his little, I guess his SIM cards at with these, Dougmen on, and they went straight to that and only took those. So I can believe stuff can happen. So that's crazy.
It happens.
Yeah, I can believe you. So hopefully he'll go back on there and fill it out again.
I'll tell you what, if you're listening still, if you can send me a private message on Facebook. You said his name was John?
Let me see it. Let me see his name again. I think his name is John Carter.
Okay. If you can send me a private message on Facebook, John, then yeah, I'll just touch base with you to get this all worked out and everything so we can talk. I hope he's got a Facebook account. Is he still on there where he can tell you if he does or doesn't have a Facebook account?
John Carter, he said, Vic said, do you have a Facebook account? I'm gonna wait till he send the text in. I'm gonna try and see if he
or if he doesn't, if he can send you some kind of a message with his number in it, that you could give to me, Marvin, so I could contact him. That would be
Okay,
fine too.
okay, John. Or if I can get it from Vic, I can just go ahead and I'll just forward it to you. Do you got a
Okay,
Facebook
perfect.
account, John? And I could just forward it to you, and that way you can get it.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, with everything I need to do anymore, I definitely don't spend that much time on Facebook. So, yeah, if you could send it to me, that'd be great.
I noticed that. I know you don't. I definitely know you don't spend too much on that. Yeah, but I guess that might be that might be all Vic, and as always, man, I'm just happy you know you was able to come on here and and just you know share your your stories and answer the questions for us again.
Well, you're welcome. Anytime you want me to come on, just let me know. We can schedule it and take it from there then.
Like I said, if you need me, I'll I'm here.
Well, I
I'm here.
appreciate it.
If you need me, I definitely come on. I don't have no problem. I definitely come. I love coming on your show. Definitely love
Well, I
coming
love
on your
having you on.
show.
I love when you come on, and like I
Yeah.
told you before, you'll
Yeah,
be hearing
John,
from me
it's
soon.
there. Yeah, I definitely love coming on your show, man. Like I said, man, you do a lot for people, and you help a lot of people. You help a lot of people out. That's how
I
I look at
try.
it.
You help a lot more people than you get credit for. That's one of the reasons why I'm so impressed by you.
8-3. I'm trying to see if he had a Facebook thing so he can at least get in contact with you because he said he had 2 encounters. So if I can get in contact with him, I can just forward all that information to you
That sounds good.
and everyone
Yeah, I don't.
that way you'll get his encounter because I know you already said you got somebody for tomorrow. It's a follow up tomorrow, right?
No, tomorrow it was supposed to be, but yeah, he no showed me. But this isn't the first time he no showed me either. But
Right.
yeah, I'm just moving on, and I'm going to have a different eyewitness that I interviewed earlier this week. I'm going to have his interview on tomorrow night, and we'll just do it that way then.
Yeah. But everybody's saying they thank you for coming on, Vic, and answering your questions and and telling us those encounters. As always, man, it's a a blessing and it's an honor. Each time you come on here, man, we really enjoyed it.
Well, you're welcome. It's been a good time. And Marvin, you should know if I'm taking the time out to come on and do these shows, that says a lot about what I think of you. I wouldn't set the time aside to do this if I didn't like you and if I didn't want the best for you. So
And you
that's
know
what I
what?
think of it.
And I understand that because I was like this. I was like, man, Vic don't go around doing those shows though. So I said, man, I'm grateful and I'm honored that he come on our show and take his time out his day and do this. I say because this is something that he don't even do.
No, I don't. I don't. Well, also that, whenever I do your show, I get a flood of requests to come on other shows too.
I
So
know, and
it's
people,
not so.
and I know some people that I mean, that you had to turn down, and then want to do that show, and then they look at it like, oh, okay, he do Marvin show and all that. Okay, I mean, why put my name in it? Don't put my name in it. I mean, he giving you a reason why he not doing your show. I mean, and people don't understand that.
No, they don't. They get pretty upset when they hear the word no, but it is what it is.
And it's just it's crazy. You know what I mean? They get mad. They get mad
Oh, I agree.
for no reason. For no reason, like a certain person, got mad for no reason. Don't get mad at me, you know what I mean? I said instead of you getting somebody else to ask, you should have asked them yourself. You might have got a different response, but who knows? I was like, man, he just really don't do shows.
That's right.
He don't
That's
do
right.
shows. So I say, man, I'm grateful that he come on here, and share encounters and answer questions for us. But like I said, Vic, whenever you ain't booked up and you need me to come back on, man, I'm ready.
I like the sound of that. I'm gonna take you up on that sooner
you know,
rather than later.
I'm I'm ready. I'm always ready. I love coming on your show. I'm ready whenever you need me. You know my number. I'm there. All you gotta do is call me like Marvin. I need I drop everything I'm doing. Cause I know sometimes people do back out. Why? I have no idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, it happens all too often. You get a lot of no shows, but that's all right. That's just the nature of the beast. But I think we ought to take a vote right now, Marvin, to see. Let's take a show of hands and see how many people want you to come on Dogman Encounters next week sometime. No, I'm kidding. I can't do that to you.
Oh, but I bet you one thing though. If you post it on your page, if you post it on your page like you did last time, boy, you got a lot of response.
I put you on the spot that
Yeah, you
time.
put
That
me
was
on the
pretty funny.
spot. You said how many people want Marvin Allen to come on here, man? I mean, it was like hundreds of people. I was like, wow,
They
wow.
love you. We
I
all
was
love
like,
you.
I was like, wow, man, that's a lot. I mean, they responding to that. They look.
They
They must have
are.
heard you say that, right? So they start. they already started.
Uh
They
oh.
already started in the chat. Oh, they already
Put the
started in the
pressure on them.
chat, Vic. Yep, they already
Put the heat
started.
on them. Put the heat on them.
Yeah, put the heat on me. They already responded now.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this, Marvin? What do you say if we get 100 posts on my personal Facebook page, Vic Cundiff, asking for you to come on as a guest for next week? If we get 100 yes votes for that, will you come on and do a show next week?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Y'all
great.
heard that,
Well,
Lisa? He gonna post something on his Facebook page. He said if he get 100 posts that want me to come back on there, then we're gonna do it next week. So be sure to go over to his Facebook page and let him know. And I mean, they still sending it in. they still sending it in too, Vic. But that'll work though. Yep, you can do that.
that,
You can do that. And I will and I definitely will be ready. Because like I
that
said,
sounds
I've been talking to a couple of eyewitnesses in Mississippi. I got one out in Utah. Um, I got one in Ohio. So I got something lined up. So all you gotta do is make the post, cause I know it's gonna flood in. I already know that. I
you
know
know
it's
that.
I know it's gonna flood in. I know it is. I
Oh
know it
yeah.
is. I know it is. Soon as you put it up there,
Oh yeah. You know that.
yep. They was like Marvin, yeah, woo. Yeah, you gonna get that. You gonna get that 100 with no problem.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't doubt that.
Yeah, Lisa said, let's do Lisa said, let's do it, fam. Flood Vic Page.
Flood it. I'll count. If there's more than 100, then we're going to do this thing.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So when he posts it, be sure to go over there.
That
Yeah, they
sounds
said
good to
Flood
me.
Vic Page. Yeah, we
I'm
definitely
looking
can
forward.
do it. We definitely gonna do it because I know you're gonna get that with no problem.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
somebody
sure.
said Murray Swampy said which page? Your Facebook, right?
My personal
He
Facebook
said his
page
personal Facebook page, Murray.
for Vic Cundiff.
Vic Cundiff.
And then don't ask me how you're going to know if you find the right Vic Cundiff profile, because if you find my profile, you'll know it. It'll be pretty easy to tell that you're on the right one.
Yeah, he said once you find his profile, you'll definitely know it's the right one.
The right Vic Cundiff, that is.
Yeah, you'll definitely know it's the right one. Yeah, Lisa, yeah. Yeah, his page. Now Richard Reed was like, you going on Vic Vic show, Marvin? Yeah, because we're gonna get over 100, yeah. I'll be going back. Mari said she already found it.
Well, have her make a post. Have her start the post then where people can vote.
Huh?
Have her start that thread where she starts the thread where people can vote yay or nay for having you come
He
on.
said, Mari, you can go and start it. He said you can start the post. Cause they gonna come. They
I'm
definitely
looking
gonna
forward to it.
come. I already know that. They definitely gonna come. Cause a lot of them going over there now on that page. I'm like, man, that's what I like when Vic, when people get, when people can just get along and it ain't no bickering, going back and forth and stuff like that. And like somebody was supposed to come on my channel, and like I said, I'm not gonna put no names out there, but he said I'm a man of my word, and I gave you my word that I'm gonna come on there, but other things happen, but it's okay though. You know,
Yeah, that happens
long as
all
I can
walks of
get
life,
Vic to come on,
unfortunately.
man, I'm all right with that.
Well, thanks for saying that.
I'm
Anytime you
all
need me,
right
let me
with
know.
that one.
Yeah, if you
I'm all
need me
right
in the
with
future,
that
let
one.
me know. If I can swing it schedule-wise, then I'll do that. So,
Yeah. Hey, Vic, you ever thought about doing like a marathon?
a marathon?
Yeah, like a lineup of guests. Like you could throw me in there, me and maybe a few other people, and just encounters. Then had the next one come on encounter. Then the next one come on encounters like that.
Hmm.
I think that
You
might
mean
be pretty good though, or both might be
you mean
something to look into.
besides you and Josh Turner, who else should I have come on and do that though?
Um, Let me see. Want somebody that can let me see me. I guess like you say, Josh. Hmm. I got I got have Al been on your Al Santiago ever been on your channel?
Oh yeah, several
Yeah, well,
times.
he been on mine too. Al, I'm sure he would go on there. Um Lee, I'm sure he would go on there. Lisa, she had a Doug Man sighting. I'm sure she would go on there. So I'm sure you can get a nice lineup.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll have to start asking around about that then.
Yeah, just ask around and see if see if people will want to do it and make sure that I guess the people you pick, what I mean. So I think that would be really good. Each person come on and tell a couple encounters, and right after they done, bam, throw the next one in there like that. So I think that'd be pretty good. I think that's something, somebody lot of your subscribers would love that. Because you're gonna have a different variety of people to come on. Because I know
Oh
sometimes you
yeah.
be doing like episodes, it might be 6 hours long where you just have multiple people on there. telling their encounter at the encounter. Like I like that encounter the guy from Virginia when he said the Doug man was running on the side of the car. What was that? Episode 135?
Oh, yeah, that's episode 117.
Oh,
with
117.
JC.
Yeah, I liked it that. I liked it that. I liked it that encounter right there.
Yeah, that encounter right there, that's got to be one of the most popular ones.
Yeah, it got to be because he was emotional. He was crying, and the way he said this thing was, I mean, it was keeping right up with him, and still looking in his car at him. So I'm like, man, that's why I say, man, these creatures is, man, these creatures are intelligent, and they just smart. They just
Oh, no
smart,
doubt.
and they definitely know what they definitely know what they be doing too.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, they definitely Lisa say finish up. He said because we ready to go over there and start voting now. So I'm gonna let you go it over there, Vic, and I'm gonna let you post it because they trying to go over there and they trying to put their bid in now.
Okay, well, I thought she was going to post it already before you even
Hey,
got off.
hey Lisa, he said you can go over there and post it. You can start it off, he said. He said he don't, I mean he gonna still go over there though, but he said you can go over there and start it off. Just put on there if if 100 people, we get 100 people that want to bring Marvin Allen back on Doug Man Encounters, then it'll be next week. So he said you can start it off. She said okay.
That sounds good. Yeah, it's been a long day.
Yes, it has.
Moving up on 11 o'clock at night, so yeah, after I get off here, I'm just going to take it easy because tomorrow it starts all over
Right.
again.
One thing, Vic Murray said, do she got to be your friend on there to go and vote?
Oh, yeah, she does.
Murray Swampy, she said, was she gonna send you a friend request?
Okay, no problem. Y'all.
Okay, Murray, he said just send him a friend request. He said no problem. But yeah, Vic, they're gonna go over there and start doing that. And once you post it, I'm gonna go in over there and look at it and I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna just see some of the some of the comments that people gonna put in there because they be like, "Woo, Marvin's back!" Yeah, it's about time though. It's about time though. So I'm gonna like again, Vic. Thank you for coming on the show and doing what you always do, man. That's why I say I can truly call you a friend, man, because you always been there and you never judge me and you always been in my corner, man. And not just me, but the whole pack, man. We thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime you need me, let me know.
And I'm gonna let you go ahead. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm gonna let you go ahead and upload it because I wanna get over there and check it out anyway.
Watch the numbers.
So again, Vic, thanks for coming on and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, man. And like I said, I appreciate that and I'm grateful, man. That's why I say anytime you need